Is your gut feeling always correct, or is your intuition always correct? This is the question why that we are going to answer today. Welcome to Mind Prosperity. Thank you so much for being with us. I have this book available, The Art of a Mental Breakthrough. That's available on Amazon. You guys are welcome to go check out this book. It speaks a lot about emotional intelligence. A lot of the sessions that we are doing today, or that I'm doing in this season, comes out of the book, The Art of a Mental Breakthrough. So I want to encourage you to go check that book out. It's about emotional intelligence, and it's about mindset, and it's about the combination, or the coherence rather, and the synchronicity that's important between mindset and your emotional state. The book is written in two parts. The first part speaks about emotional intelligence. The second part speaks about mindset. And in all, the book speaks about how to get that coherence and that synchronicity between the way that you think and the way that you feel, and how it impacts and influences your life. Now, today we're going to speak about the gut feeling. And I address this in chapter 9 in the book. So, first of all, before we answer this question, is your gut feeling always correct? We have to ask ourselves the question, what is a gut feeling and how does it work? Now, Daniel Goleman, the writer of the book Emotional Intelligence, said the following about gut feeling. He said the gut feeling can be understood as somatic markers that act as automatic alarms, drawing our attention to potential danger or golden opportunities associated with a given course of action. These markers often guide us away from choices that our past experience have warned us against, effectively preventing potential dangers. However, they can serve as alerts for favorable prospects. So what the gut or the intuition does, it reminds us, or it tells us that something might be dangerous, or it tells us that something might be favorable. But, and this is also that's something that Daniel Goleman says, is the gut feeling has been shaped by past experiences. Now, Daniel Goleman is very much for or in favor of the gut feeling and the intuition. And I just want to say, so am I. I am in favor of the gut feeling. I am in favor of the intuition. I think it's a great guide. But is it always right? Is it always correct? We're going to look at that now. Albert Einstein said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and forgot the gift. So he speaks about his society that, that follows a lot the logic, but they kind of neglect the intuition or the emotional part. I do think the times we are living in today, people are maybe more focused on the intuitive part or the emotional part, and maybe neglecting a bit the logical part, because if we look at emotional intelligence is getting that balance between your thinking mind and your feeling mind. Daniel Goleman said ultimately you have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. If you look at your brain, you have a neocortex, which is your logical part of the brain. You have a limbic system, which is your emotional part of the brain. And we have to understand that both of them are extremely important, and both of them play a big role, and your emotions has been influenced by things that happened in the past. So is the gut feeling always right? Well, the answer is yes and no. Yes, your pure gut feeling, your pure intuition, your healthy gut and your healthy intuition is always right. But because the gut is influenced, because the intuition is influenced by beliefs that has been built over years that caused trauma, that caused fear, that caused shame, those things influences the gut, and those things influences the intuition, which causes the gut today in your life not to always be 100% correct. Because people have trauma, people have past hurts, that causes us to feel things in our gut that's not always correct, and that's not always right. So the goal here is to know the more healthy we get. Remember, the subconscious mind runs 95% of your life. The subconscious mind is mainly programmed in the first 7 years of your life, and unless you reprogram it, it's going to stay mostly like that for the rest of your life. And things that has been programmed into your subconscious mind influences your gut feeling and influences your intuition. And if those things aren't dealt with, if those things are not healed, then it can influence your intuition, so that your intuition can guide you into directions that's not always good for you. But if you work on yourself, if you work on your belief system, if you grow, obviously, as the subconscious beliefs becomes more healthy and healthy, as you deal with your trauma, as you grow, as you heal, the more you can eventually trust your gut. So I'm going to give you a few things on when it's trauma and not gut. Before I get there, I want to ask you to subscribe to this video. We are trusting for 1,000 subscribers. Your subscription can help us to get there. Feel free to leave a comment, and also go check out the book, The Art of a Mental Breakthrough, that's available on Amazon. So when is it trauma and not gut? So a lot of people say, just follow your gut feeling, follow your intuition. In a lot of cases, it's very important. In a lot of cases, it's true. But the gut feeling and the intuition is not always correct, because in many cases, it can be influenced by trauma. So when is it trauma and not gut or not intuition? So when your brain reacts or responds out of past hurts for survival, then it's trauma and not intuition. Let me use an example. Say, for instance, you've been in a relationship with a person a few years ago, and this person treated you extremely badly, and you got hurt and trauma in that relationship. Now you're in a new relationship, and a lot of the things that the new person does triggers you and makes you feel uneasy in the gut, but actually the person is a very good person. The person is a very decent and loyal person, but you're questioning this person the whole time. You feel like this person is going to disappoint you or hurt you because of what happened in the past. That is past trauma. That is not intuition. Now, if you have an attitude, the next one I want to focus on or say is, if you have an attitude of I trust nobody, all men are bad, all women are bad, all businesses, all bosses are bad, all churches are bad, things like that, then it's not your intuition, then it is a trauma that is speaking. A lot of people will say this, I can just feel in my intuition that women are bad, or I can just feel like when a man comes close to me, my intuition just tells me there's danger. That's not a healthy intuition, and that's your trauma speaking. That's not a healthy intuition speaking. The next one is when you have a fear of rejection. When you have a fear of rejection, you always have this expectation that somebody is going to reject you. And it's almost like you have this gut feeling or this intuition, like these people are going to push me away, these people are going to reject me. So you either go into the anxious, preoccupied attachment style where you cling to them and kind of like overprotective and needy because your gut feeling is now telling you they're going to reject you, or you push them away before you even give them a chance. That's the avoidant attachment style. You will avoid anybody coming closer to you because it's almost like your gut feeling just says, this person is going to reject me. That's not a healthy gut. That is trauma. Another thing that we can look at is overthinking and rumination. So when you are overthinking something the whole time, when you are ruminating on something the whole time, and you are overthinking or ruminating because of trauma, that it gives the idea that you kind of like expect the worst the whole time. That is also trauma. That is not a gut feeling. Another thing that's very important in relationships is when stability is boring. When you get into a stable relationship, when you get into a healthy relationship, and it's like, my gut is just saying this is wrong. That's not your gut. It's just because of trauma, you are so used to instability. You are so used to chaos, where something stable is now boring for you, and it's kind of like my gut or my intuition is just telling me that I need more excitement in my life. And I'm not saying that that is totally wrong, because yes, you do want to be in a relationship that is exciting. You don't want to be in a relationship that is boring. But for a person with trauma, a stable relationship is boring because there's no chaos. And a lot of times they say, but my gut feeling is telling me this is not the right person. It's not your gut, it's your trauma that wants chaos. Another thing that's important to look at is when you are over alert to danger. And it's again that there's an expectation of danger. It's almost like, the world and everything in it is against me, and I can just feel something bad is going to happen. That's again not your gut. That's again not your intuition. That is your trauma speaking. And the final one that I want to focus on, when you feel like you cannot move into your authentic self, when you cannot be your authentic self, there's something blocking you. And when you cannot move into your calling, when you don't feel like you have this freedom of moving into your calling, moving into your purpose, there's something you should do, there's something you can do, you have the gifts, you have the talent, you have the passion, but there's kind of like this fear blocking you. And you know who you are made to be, your personality, what you can do, but there's kind of like there's something blocking you, keeping you back. And a lot of times a person feels like, but my gut or my intuition just kind of like keeps me to go forward. It's not your gut or your intuition. It's again your trauma speaking. So if we understand these differences, if we now understand this is trauma, this is not gut feeling, or this is not a healthy gut feeling, or this is not a healthy intuition, then we can get to that place where we can say, gut is a very good thing, intuition is a very good thing. And it's very important to follow your gut or to follow your intuition, but to also say, my gut and my intuition is not always correct because it can be influenced by trauma. Now, by that, I'm not saying don't follow your gut or don't follow your intuition, but by that, I am saying ask the question, is this a healthy gut feeling, or is this caused by past trauma? And get to that place where you always grow yourself, where you always grow, where you always heal. As you grow, as you heal, as you become more healthy, the more you will be able to trust your gut, and the more your gut and your intuition will be right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope this video helped you and was informative. From Mind Prosperity, we love you, and we are excited to see you soon again. Goodbye.